And I'm going to play two cuts. They're the same cuts that were part of a 1945-46 newsreel. If you remember the old Pathé newsreels. And this is a story about how the UN got to find its home in New York, which you know is because of the Rockefellers. It's built on Rockefeller land on the east side of Manhattan overlooking the East River. Now, what I had said before was, when I'm watching this newsreel, now, unfortunately, you're going to hear something that's second generation. Actually, it's third generation by the time you get it. Because I had saved it on a CD, and now I'm recording it. Well, no, it's coming right from the CD, but at any rate, who cares, right? It's a couple of generations, and you'll lose a lot of the sharpness, but I had done this cold with Harry during a show we did somewhere. Well, we were in two places actually three places inside the library. His original office, a meeting room, and this other room that was a library of albums and sound formats nobody uses anymore when we set up something in there. And that's where we were in that time. So I kind of know what year it was by when, what section of the library, or whether we were down at the radio stations. I played it for Harry, and Harry went, woof. The point is this. It's not earth-shattering, but it's kind of interesting. The first Star Trek, right? The first Star Trek had a theme song. And it was supposedly written by Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, who was very much a one-worldist, a federationist. And that's what the Federation is. For the most part, it's a galactic one space government. That's what it is. Now, the newsreel had music underneath it. My contention is the music that you hear underneath this newsreel bite about Rockefeller grabbing the UN for New York, tell me that isn't the same riff that you hear in the original Star Trek shows, the 3 years that it ran originally. So how could Roddenberry have written a song if that existed in some form 20 years before? Did he borrow that? I don't know where it comes from. Or is this one of the things that just kind of gets a little spooky because they all know the handshake? I'll play that in a second. I'll play it 3 times. The first time, at least listen to the newsreel guy talking about the UN. And the other 2 times, or whatever you want to do, just listen underneath it. And you will hear some chords from the Star Trek theme. I play these cuts from that newsreel. Get listening out of the way of the narrative. Go back and listen underneath to the strains of the song, and tell me that's not from Star Trek, the theme of which Roddenberry supposedly wrote 20 years after. And then we'll just see you next time, if there is a next time.
On June 25th, 1945, the charter was signed in a formal ceremony by each of the 50 nations present at the conference. Out of the chaos of World War II had come a global brotherhood that carried within its legislative structure the seeds of world peace for the generations to come. On June 25th, 1945, the charter was signed in a formal ceremony by each of the 50 nations present at the conference. Out of the chaos of World War II had come a global brotherhood that carried within its legislative structure the seeds of world peace for the generations to come. On June 25th, 1945, the charter was signed in a formal ceremony by each of the 50 nations present at the conference. Out of the chaos of World War II had come a global brotherhood that carried within its legislative structure the seeds of world peace for the generations to come.